When you hear the word acceptance, when you're listening to a mindfulness talk or a Dharma talk, what comes to mind? When people hear the phrase accept everything just as it is, they often think that this means to become passive or resigned to the way things are. It sounds a bit like resignation. Acceptance and embracing do not mean resignation. They're not passive. The Buddha did not advocate for passivity or resignation. Instead, he encouraged acceptance of the present moment. Say, for example, you're leaving a restaurant and you're standing in the doorway and it's pouring rain. Acceptance means that you accept that it's raining. You don't yell at the rain and become upset because it's raining. There's only recognition and acceptance that it's raining. It sounds absurd to think that you would become upset because it's raining. But this is exactly what we do in our lives. Another useful metaphor, I think, is the game of Tetris. You might be familiar with this game. It's a game where different shaped blocks appear at the top of the screen and they kind of fall down. You have to fit them into existing blocks at the bottom. You must work with whatever shapes appear. Now imagine playing the game and becoming upset every time a shape appears that you don't want. Isn't the game of life somewhat similar? Acceptance is playing Tetris and not resisting the shapes as they appear. Similarly, acceptance in life is not resisting what shows up in life as an experience or a feeling about an experience. We're simply allowing it all. Whenever we try to control our current experience, this is the opposite of acceptance. When we don't accept the present moment, we're trapped in reacting to it rather than responding wisely. When we accept what is happening, we can then respond. So how do we stop struggling with life and reacting to what's happening? How do you accept that it's raining or accept the unwanted Tetris shapes as they appear? We learn and train our minds to accept life as it unfolds. It's the basis of what the Buddha calls a freedom or liberation. It sounds so simple, but it is challenging. It's challenging because we have deep-rooted historical and evolutionary patterns of non-acceptance and reactivity. We can retrain and rewire the brain and develop new patterns. This is actually what we're doing when we meditate. We observe our experience and allow it to be just as it is. We start to see that acceptance allows us to respond wisely rather than unconsciously reacting. An additional misunderstanding concerning acceptance is that we might think that it justifies harmful behavior. Acceptance has nothing to do with this. Acceptance is what we do before behavior occurs. It frees us to choose what to do next. As Viktor Frankl, the founder of logotherapy, says, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is your power to choose your response. In your response lies your growth and your freedom. So when we're not mindlessly reacting to events, we might see a space. And in that space, a wise response emerges. We're no longer trapped in struggle with the present moment and stuck in reactivity. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship, say, acceptance does not mean that you don't do anything about it. Acceptance means that you recognize that this situation's occurring, and now what can I do about it? It's like seeing that it's pouring rain and thinking, okay, it's raining. What do I do? Do I ask to borrow an umbrella, or perhaps I stay a bit longer in the restaurant? When we accept the moment as it is, we have the freedom to respond wisely. Accepting the moment is all about relinquishing struggle with the moment. I hope you enjoyed this talk and it clarified what the term acceptance means. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you and hope to see you soon.